Why is everybody attacking Poetik Flakko? So, who is Poetik Flakko? Poetik Flakko is a Liberian American who has grown in influence online. You know, he's almost approaching 500,000 subscribers, but he also has a YouTube channel that has a lot of engagement, which reflects his audience. I mean, he's killing it in terms of views. He's very articulate. I don't know him personally, but I really think he's a nice guy. He's been very well received in the Black community. A lot of his content is about hip hop culture, right? It feels like it's something that he really, really likes. So why is everybody all of a sudden and I would say for the most part he is on code, quote unquote, right? So why is everybody all of a sudden attacking him? I've seen Black liberals that are quote unquote Pan Africans all of a sudden taking shots at Poetic Flacco, even though he has 100% supported Black causes, right? Now he, highlights the degenerate nature culture and he seems to enjoy it, which is strange for an African. But Flacco ideologically is not like me, right? Like for me, I think everybody online now knows what I stand for. It's not a secret. But Flacco getting attacked is very shocking to me. And I try to understand why this is happening. So I have pulled out his YouTube page, right? And what I've observed over the last few months is he's really killing it. I mean, you're talking about six-figure monthly earnings on YouTube. And some of the OGs in the game, like Oshay Duke Jackson, and this guy, this Pan African guy, also made a video attacking him. I try to understand why this is, right. I'm like, why now? And to be honest with you, I think what is happening now is these people feel threatened by his rise, and with the diaspora wars in full gear, him and Godfrey, who have been good friends of the Black community, are now targets, which makes me think that everything that I've been talking about is very true. That if you're a Black creator or if you're a Black entertainer from Sub-Saharan Africa or the Caribbean, it is in your best interest to do content that doesn't appeal to the Black community because, they like to boycott, and all it takes is one instant and everybody boycotts you. And sometimes it's not something you said or something you've done. These people are heavily tribal. I mean, they criticize us for being tribal, but they are heavily tribal. I saw a video of a guy saying that the American Black is the big bro. Like, I've never heard that before. The American Black is the big bro. Okay. So that's how they feel. I mean, they are cocky like that. And I don't blame them. It's good to feel good about yourself, right? But I'm glad that, first of all, Flacco is not even responding to these idiots, right? Because if I go look at his latest update, I went back to try to see if he's made any videos about Oshay Duke Jackson, and there is none. Like, he may have said it in one of his comments somewhere, but Oshay has not been the headline, okay? Which means that he doesn't take him seriously. I mean, who takes Oshay seriously? I don't even think Oshay himself takes Oshay seriously. One thing I learned earlier on in my capitalist life is I like to respect people that work hard. I respect talent. I like competition. I like people's ability to compete fairly. And YouTube is a fair platform. The algorithm is your scorecard. And so far, it looks like Flacco is doing something right, which is why he has the results. And this is solely due to his work. But Oshay Duke Jackson, because of one phone call, is trying to take credit for Flacco's rise. If you know so much about YouTube, which I think he does to an extent, right? You should compete fairly because it's a fair platform. Why are you attacking somebody out of nowhere? And it feels like Flacco is not responding, but maybe it'll go away, right? He's not responding. And what I've come to understand here is that because Flacco's audience is mostly Black Americans. These guys are trying to draw him into the diaspora wars so that he can get canceled and lose his money. This is just an attack uh, on his capitalist ability, which is really anti-American. This is why I personally just don't support black causes. I don't like groups of people that are anti-competition, because competition is what holds capitalism. These are all level playing fields. There's people that have more subscribers than I do. There are people that get more views than I do. But I don't come here and envy or complain. I just look at it as a reason to maybe work harder if this is something I want to do full term. But this is not something I'm trying to do full term, right? So I'm content with what I get. But for the people that depend on this and live on this, what you should take from Flacco is, okay, watch a few videos and see how he's doing it and how he's growing in influence and how he's getting the views, and apply some of those positives to your content. Or if he has some type of training or consultation, there might be a potential for you to reach out to him and get some of that experience or learn something that you can apply to your content creation. Don't say because he's of African descent, even though he's heavily embraced your culture and I think maybe even supported your causes, you're going to use that as a deficiency to attack his capitalism, his ability to rise. And that's really sad. I like to an extent that this is happening because it lines up with everything that I've been talking about on YouTube. First you have to always study your opponent, which is what I've done. I have studied my opponent. I know what they are capable of. And this is why I typically don't associate with that particular group. It's not really out of hate. I wish there was nothing like this, but this is heavily cultural, and this is something that I can't change unless they are willing to change. And who am I to tell somebody to change? I don't care, right? Now, if we go down and look at Oshay Duke Jackson's channel, and we have said this in one of my live streams, you can notice that clearly he's not getting the views that he's used to getting. So the money is drying down. I'm curious to know what his click-through rate is. I studied math, right? So I have very deep analytical skills, probably more than the average person on YouTube. Like I really, really know how to crank that data and numbers. And just from like randomly just viewing this, these thumbnails will not have a high conversion click-through rate. That's just my personal feeling. I think, I can't see behind the wall, but I'm curious to see what this click-through rate is, because that's obviously reflecting in the view. But if you've seen it's either he's doing content that is attacking some black women, or lately provocative content targeting people like Flacco and Godfrey, who are on the rise in this YouTube space. This is a full thumbnail of Flacco wearing what you deem as African clothes, looking certain way like he's crying. Oshay Duke Jackson is a very hateful person. I know from observing him. Very hateful, right? This content is not very necessary. Hence, it's not getting the views. 18,000 views per his standard. That's underperforming when Africans cause division among black Americans. We are causing division. I don't get it. If you go down here, why Africans really hate the word thirder? We don't really hate it. I think you guys hate the other word more than we hate the word thirder. But if you go down, a lot of the content is starting to target people like Flacco, people like Godfrey. And this is also because these guys are not fighting back. The way you fight Oshay is to use his own tactics against him. This is why you would never see me as a headline on any of his channels, because he knows what is going to come his way when he does that. And this is what I'm hoping that people like Flacco take on. But maybe their approach is working. Because if you ignore him and you ignore him, they're not getting him that much views, as you can see. Eventually, maybe he'll move on from it. This is just pure envy. It's pure envy because they seem to be targeting the same demographic. And because he is of the tribe, what he's trying to do is and cause so much rage so that people stop uh, purchasing that product, which is Flacco. But see, here's the thing. This is the beauty of capitalism. If you do something so well, people are always going to patronize it. And this is where I think Oshay falls short. Okay. He needs to improve. I didn't think as a newbie on YouTube, I'd come here and tell an OG to improve. But I think this is really below average, really, even graphically. It looks below average. It's not, hence the output, right? This may have worked a few years ago, but right now it's not. I don't see the creativity here. It's just maybe because he's done so much of this that it's caused a certain level of fatigue. I don't see so much creativity here, but you can see he's really trying to get Flacco's attention, but it's not happening. And you know, it's we could start seeing the downfall of this guy in terms of relevance. I've seen, I've been studying YouTube a lot. I've seen creators who 3 or 4 years ago had 2 million subscribers struggle to get 40,000 views per video. Right now, I've seen that. I don't want to put their names out there, but I've been observing a lot of creators who have big, big numbers, but are struggling to even break 3% of that audience. And this looks like this is where we are heading with O'Shea Duke Jackson. A lot of people have tuned out. Channels like this, 499,000, should be adding on average 1,000 subs minimum every month, right? I mean, we have almost added 500 in the last 3 weeks. 500 people in the last 3 weeks, right? So it's not difficult for people like O'Shea to have uh, 1,000 a month easily. But he's sat at 400 and something thousand ever since I started observing or being a critic of him. It's been a year now, and he still hasn't crossed over the 500,000 mark. I think he will, but his channels have peaked out. I don't see this guy growing up to 1 million in the next 5 years. He's peaked out unless he makes drastic changes. And part of that change, I think, it's not just the product. I mean, I think the product sucks, but it's also his personality. There's some of the videos that we've been doing is starting to expose who he is as a human being. And once people start to notice who you are as a human being, eventually they start not to like your product. When they know that you are in Africa to sexually exploit women, how sexual advances when it comes to your employees, things like that will make people not want to purchase your product, which is what you're seeing right now. I'm going to do another video where I do a deep dive into his analytics over the last 6 months, because that will be a very good sample size to give us an idea where this guy is headed. But I mean, just from the eye test, what I'm seeing right now, there are some struggles here. I mean, today he's produced one video, and 6 hours in, he's only has 6,500 views, which clearly it's not this video is not doing well. Okay, what he did yesterday with Flacco definitely didn't do well as well. So all these division content that he seems to be leaning towards is starting to backfire. And like I explained earlier, his personality also has something to do with this. I think this guy is a very horrible person, and people are starting to figure it out. He has shitty personality. He needs to get some counseling. He needs to get professional help. It feels like a man that hasn't grown up. I mean, gets drunk, talks a whole bunch of rubbish, but clearly there hasn't been any growth in this guy. I mean, ever since I started really observing him, and that's really sad, because I think behind the nonsense can be a great personality, but when you have no guidance, when you grow up the way he grew up, you really have no chance. He's just trying to figure out life out, and he's crashing out on everybody, including the Africans that have hosted him. And if you heard from our big panel of 8 people the last time, who were Africans, overwhelmingly, everybody wanted him out of Africa. And that's sad.